Spike now. Stuck.
Nice little micro adjustment from
Yeah,
Gen.G.
low.
Calling in Foxy9 to give Munchkin a little bit of help. He needed it. Even though in this round, much better results from Munchkin. 2 kills there, just holding the same spot. Sometimes that does work. You fool people.
This means though, Xfero, I mean, he's got the spike. He's going to be stuck into pizza. He doesn't want to give this angle over, but never mind. Texture will just get taken down. A little bit of damage here. Xfero tagged at 42, but now we go into a 2v2. There's Karon and Foxy. Have to try to clutch, otherwise RRQ looking to pull off this 10-2. What a ripple. Split away from one another. No way to double up this block.
The way that they have so many of these plays dialed up, I mean, even little things like breaking the window for Gen.G as he's going through in his dimensional drift, like the timing on that was flawless. Like it was right as he was getting there. Like everything in lockstep for them here on Ascent.
Hello.
And Gen.G looks.
Hello.
They haven't played this comp in a while.
Hello.
Probably have.
Yeah.
Hello.
He's a superior game plan. I mean, right now, guess who's been having a real hard time? I think it'd be difficult to agree with the fans here in this map in particular.
Yeah, I'm pointing the other way. Oh, okay, let's see. Which is worse?
Oh my god, what?
Is that a thing, or is it just something that we fabricated?
I don't know. This must be some meme I don't know about.
Are we allowed to lie on the internet? I'm not sure about. maybe, yeah, you know, maybe he's got a ton of quotes.
We've just become your average social media user.
Pretty much.
Making things up.
Something, and then a picture of somebody sitting on a beach, you know, watching the sunset.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's like, wow, really enjoying my vacation.
Yeah.
When you're actually just in your basement.
Well, Gen.G need to pull off a monster.
भाई 10-2 बे Gen.G हार कैसे रहा है? Fuck, dude.
Take us over to Lotus for map number 3 and give us that tied up score line that we
राउंड जीत गया अगर Gen.G तो शायद चांस है जीतने के बे. Oh, भाई. Oh, what the?
With the first finds the second with Monyet sandwiched in
GG भाई ये तो ले गई RRQ.
Texture alone at A. Needing to find the opening. Xfero held back. Gate crash already being sent out as well for Gen.G to try to join in. Match arriving, 22 health remaining here on the Sova. The lion's share of the weight being placed here on this Jet's back.
We've seen him do it before.
इसकी HP भी low है.
Jump into heaven, gets some damage on the Monyet. Does have that paranoia, but the shroud a little bit wider, doesn't manage to find the kill.
Oh, Dexter, what the? अबे गलत death हो गई बे. Hell no.
This crazy guy takes him down. RRQ.
11-2 big.
And now 11-2 on the map.
So the early patience paying off here for RRQ. Gen.G started this round playing way back towards their spawn.
ये गलत मारा बे. दोनों ने Gen.G ने और उसने.
Then this happens.
Monyet ने.
They clear there's a clear the turret and they're like, okay, 3, 2, 1, we go. And Monyet and Gen.G are there to just shut him down.
But that play can't be a 3-2-1. It needs to be, okay, they're clearing the turret. Now we go.
Force by.
No, I know.
Force by here. Force by.
You're right.
Things off kilter clearly here for Gen.G and RRQ. Continuing to just be gorgeous on this map. 18-9-2 for Gen.G. Already over halfway towards another dimensional drift. See if he's going to be able to find a texture going in for the entry, but Gen.G is right here ready. Will be in their nightmares tonight, regardless of the outcome of this series. Start of that second half on Haven. Right now, they could desperately use it.
So he's got that drone. Car at the door though.
Finds another drops down.
Oh,
Right there waiting
nice.
Numbers the stealth drone clear
2-2.
Foxy and Ash tucked here at the site. The head of one.
Oh, nice.
Ash plays off of that
No,
misinformation.
no.
Foxy
No, nice one, BJ, Foxy.
Dodges the bullets. It does manage to make it happen once again here for the side of Gen.G. It's another forced attempt this time rather than a thrifty. They deny
Imagine
away
अगर इधर से
that
comeback कर
momentum
लिया
on
उन
the
लोगों
back
ने.
of the pistol.
He just felt like it might be kind of done. Texture can't get in there. RRQ fully anticipating it, having 3 players on the B site. How much he can do, but Karan, little run and gun, couple different kills that way. One with the Spectre, one with the picked up, or excuse me, one with the picked up Spectre, one with the Stinger. And all right, well, you're gonna have weapon advantage for sure
Eco
this
पे
round.
है
Full save
RRQ.
for RRQ. They're gonna go for an aggressive push out. Turret's there, but okay.
So it's fine.
Yep.
This time able to find the catch.
Easy.
Boogeyman has been
So it's
taken
11-4.
He'll only have his ult for next round. What could go wrong?
Being wary about some pressure potentially here from mid. Crazy guy, maybe with an opportunity to get the backstab maneuver going, but for now, entry over here on the A sites, which will get hit. One yet. Xferro on the opposite side. They say, okay, well, we think that we have
पीछे
this
तो अरे nice one बे वही पीछे.
Riley, we're correct.
What?
In the hell just happened, Foxy?
Yes,
The
yes,
final
let's go.
bullet
Oh
straight
nah.
ahead to find the head of Moniette. Go ahead and quote Sideshow about Victor in a certain horseshoe in a certain place, but 4K, Cushy with a Bulldog, gonna look to try to do some additional damage here, but will not be able to turn this round on its head, you would suspect.
Nice one.
There you go, final put down from Karan. Gen.G.
Nice go.
To 4-round wins, but RRQ is so far out in front.
Yeah, I mean, just some nice play here from Foxy9. You know, RRQ might have thought they had Foxy9 locked in, but little did they know, they're the ones who are actually locked in with him. He just mows them down. But, again, huge weapon advantage, so it do be like that sometimes. And you do have a Hunter's Fury for Ash, still though, Dimensional Drift for Jemkin. It's gonna be a little bit of info. Tejo, that Omen. Gonna be super surprising, but you didn't see Jemkin over there. That might lead you to believe this is the weak side for RRQ. Jemkin being really cautious with revealing his presence until he has to. Hasn't shown any util I've seen.
Might have been a minor spot out there on the Crazy guy. Being elbow exposed either way. Texture now having the confirmation of his position. Time though, double push up quietly in towards market. Cam, however, now cleared out. Helps to try to escort them forward. Crazy guy. Slowly make his way down towards alley. Salvos at the ready, sending them to try to delay even further. Xferro, Cushy both tucked here at boats. 0 point, scouting them out, telling the story. Now they need to try to win the fight. Fragment is able to find one.
अरे बढ़िया उसको बे.
Through the wall, coming up huge. And Karan still gonna be good for one. Jim can take it down, but that now leaves Moniette all alone.
Save करेगा.
He'll be forced to save.
Well, okay. Attacker's side starting to look nice for Gen.G. It's just it has to be so good. You know, you only have a couple rounds for air. This time they're able to really figure this out pretty nicely. It looked like to me they might fall into RRQ's trap of trying to go A. Then they get crunched on instead. They just slide towards mid.
Nice.
Finds the final kill. Moniette, done and dusted.
He does Monielle from time to time.
He does Monielle. Yeah, a little bit.
Last couple rounds, a little bit less of that. As fragment there, just final hit.
We're starting to see some good util from Munchkin. Something that was not available for Gen.G on the defender's side. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, they're still in good spirits. They're still having fun down there.
They're starting to believe.
They're beginning. I just watched that movie the other night.
Well, they might. I'm not necessarily sold on it quite just yet. For now, forced onto a thrifty here. Thrifty attempt, one should say, is RRQ. Bucky in the hand of Moniette, looking to do some damage.
All right, way up there.
Not a position that everybody plays.
Oh, very rarely.
Trying to catch someone off guard here, perhaps.
Sure.
Fragment check over towards Wine. No one flushed out into the open.
I mean, they're being pretty smart about some of their early clears. But this time, RRQ is once again
मिड खा लिए बे पूरा मिड
Gen.G.
अरे नहीं मरेगा एक ना एक तो मरेगा
Double down on that, but no resistance at all on the A side is.
अरे टाइमिंग हो गई बे
Start pushing through. Literally no contact at A main. A little bit here at short.
अगर मुनि बैठा रहता तो भाई मारता है का देखो ओ मार सकता है अभी भी एक को नाइस वन ओ दो मार गए व्हाट द फक
The door is shut, the spike behind it now. A weapon scooped up for Moniette. Quick TP, cannot deny the grab of that spike, but Moniette, he is looking to secure them this thrifty win. Good Lord. The heroics from him. Just bounce out from the shadows. Thrown over the top, needing to be cleared. Cowan has to tuck back away. It's Foxy.
Oh, by Donald and Foxy go. Nice one.
Crazy guy, Moniette, both going to be taken down. Vandal, however, you're in the hands of Jemkin. Because she will fall. Sparrow fighting the TPN. Jemkin steadies the aim. Finds the hit. And now it is all on texture. Doesn't believe in the fake. Spots the real
Oh, damn. What?
Shot for the
भाई क्या मारा है भाई
Some of these rounds
गलत भाई गलत
are just absolutely unbelievable. Deus Ex Machina for Gen.G.
I just love this from Moniette. Just finds the perfect timing. And Foxy feeling something special with those outlaws. Texture though, knew there was X-Pharaoh coming out a window. Gen.G had just lost a player there. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're about ready for an RRQ timeout now. Stop the bleeding. Just end this. Try to send this over towards Lotus a little bit quicker. A map that Gen.G absolutely dismantled them on last time, but right now RRQ's, you know, this defender side starting to show some weaknesses, and it's the early map exploration that Gen.G's doing in particular. Like, they're being really diligent about, okay, are they A main? No, let's check short. Okay, nobody's been at either of those. Let's try A. And even though there's a Bucky waiting for them and causes them problems, it's still at the macro level the right read. It's just, you done got Bucky. That happens.
Similar scoreline to the final timeout used in the series yesterday from RRQ, but a very different context. 12-6 when they opted to go for that one versus Paper Rex. This time, certainly because they are feeling a lot more pressure. Still have a very healthy lead though. 5 rounds ahead. They just want to get this map over with so they can focus on Lotus.
Yeah, I was just about to say, using that 0 point to clear space for the lockdown. And, you know, RRQ knew it. They were already in a position where...
Crossover towards A. No one detained. Entry into the site. Coming through is... Seeking target, no man pop. Texture tries to get forward, but Xfero just a bit snappier. Finds a headshot to shut him down. Foxy tucking back around the corner. As Step gets revealed, but finds the timing. It's on the enemy side. Blood gets ready to come in. Foxy. Dead is Cushy. Finds that kill. Off from Moniette. Goes a little bit wide. As you blood Cushy. Curran going to take it out. Munchkin now finds Moniette. Diffuse starting. As they're just looking to hold this one down. Tries desperately. But the swoop forward from Munchkin. Another Red
What
Bull
bro?
clutch.
What?
Another
क्या खेला
narrow
है बे?
round
क्या
win.
खेला है?
But somehow Gen.G continues to keep the ball rolling. They carry nothing forward. But they don't let RQ get this up to map point off the back of the timeout.
I mean, it's a great round for both sides. They read the situations really well. Gen.G finds their opening for the lockdown. RRQ, aware of it ahead of time, playing retake the whole way. And they're both kind of fighting tooth and nail for these different spots. Like the way Foxy is delaying, you know, shorty in hand, waiting for that smoke to go down. Using the nano. Hold the angles, texture. Okay.
Not gonna swing in. Now that they get the gate crash, start sliding forward. Displace that hero rifle. Another gate crash. Sent right back over towards Alley though. He looks to rejoin. But this
Eco
could just
है
end up being a little
चार
bit of
का.
a pacier hit as Texture
ये भी जीत गए
chip on
mostly.
that hard left angle. Dashes back in.
So
Tailwind
8 to
and now
11.
burn.
Man, if I'm Gen.G, I am so nervous about like a Hunter's Fury Armageddon combo into B main.
Oh, sure.
That is so frightening.
What?
I think they only saw the one.
Yeah, don't believe Texture was
हाँ
noted, but he
बे,
already made noise, so they know that
तीन
There's
killed है.
two there.
it's still going to be, yeah, within the vicinity.
मोनिया
I think they got the spot on the car, and I just saw
Crazy
some
guy,
pings,
ये
or at
कुछ
least they
सीख.
know, or highly suspect.
Do they read this, though? They're starting to move forward into his line of sight. Jemkin is able to find the readjust. Punchkin taken down. Clone set.
Oh, nice. Nice,
Snap
nice,
there
nice.
onto Foxy. Cannot make it
4v4,
happen.
4v4. गन गई है उनकी.
That Vandal on the floor, but potentially recoverable for one of these RRQ players.
Look at this. The texture.
Oh,
Try to route
गलत
into that,
read,
but
गलत
Texture-
read.
Yeah, he's just calling for the pivot, but now the
नहीं,
tripwire
नहीं.
is going to be telling them everything they need to know. As there's the Hunter's Fury, there's the reveal. Second shot going to be going wide. Third
Time,
one
time,
splits
time,
the difference
time,
between several
time,
players.
time.
The spike now being brought forward. You see there the Armageddon at the ready. 8 seconds.
Oh, they dodged it, I think.
Ash is not in it. It's been a whip. It's a shallow plan. But now Foxy, forward and Lumber, able to find Cushy.
3v4.
Two Vandals and a classic in hand. Xpero dead.
Wow,
Foxy
nice.
holds down the flank. One more player on the angle. Moniette does manage
Save
to
करेगा.
take him
obviously.
down, to make it hurt a little bit more, make it a little bit more costly. But 3 players from Gen.G will survive. And it's going to be 3 rounds left separating these 2 teams.
This is madness. This is absolute madness. Texture?
They have the pinch.
Oh!
Moniette, however, has the shots. TP's back over to Gelato. How badly
अरे,
you want to try
अरे,
to
अरे.
go for it? Seems like maybe a mischaracterization of his
बच्चा
placement.
बे.
Moniette does narrowly survive. As Judge one would say, should say.
Yeah.
Good
I'm
God.
not here to judge you. I'm here to enjoy this.
Foxy 9 गलत
What
खेलता है
is
बे.
the narrowest of margins here for Gen.G? Able to plant it in a spot. I mean, I think understanding well ahead of time. I'm sure Munchkin screaming, hey, they've got the Armageddon. Don't plant it backside. Plant it in the middle.
Now it's a very different scoreline to that final timeout.
Well, think back to round 14. Think back to an obvious buy-up.
yes.
An obvious buy-up for Gen.G. That's where this all started. You know it's going to come through as RRQ. You know that they're going to force buy there. You're not able to get the round. And since then, it's been all Gen.G. And, you know, a bunch of crazy clutches. Oh, a Heretics fan. Let's go. Congrats to Heretics.
Little drawing of Texture and Woot there, saying they're going to be reunited.
Looking forward to seeing those boys back in Toronto. Back in the Masters, I should say.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It all points back to that one critical moment. But now, a full buy afforded here for RRQ, an operator in hand for Jemkin. RRQ was able to avoid textures at pretty much every twist and turn. Gen.G, will they be able to do the same thing? Or will this be enough to finally get RRQ up to that map point?
The scary part is, not only, you know, does Jemkin have an operator, if he gets that kill, he gets his ult, and then they can play a little bit more for retake potentially.
Prime Shots through though. Munchkin eats some damage, yes, but still finds the kill. Monyet here at the site. Paranoia for Paranoia going to be exchanged across the two Omens. ZTP's in over towards Hell. Shots ringing out the shorty to try to hound him down. Texture comes away with that elimination. Now the Nano Swarm just a shallow little lob up. Buy some space and time. Texture eats 4 more damage from his teammate.
I was going to say, did he jump into that?
And he did, but already, look at this. The call to save has been sounded. Gen.G is not going to get that dimensional drift online in this round. They opt to back away. They don't want to wreck the economy any further and try to play this out versus 5 members from Gen.G. Ash is going to go on the hunt, however, because he knows that every single kill that he can find here is worth its weight in gold.
You know, sometimes I love Pacific because not only do we get crazy great matches, but Ascent is attacker-sided sometimes, and it's just absolute madness, and I love it. And you can
Camera spotted.
go for the hunt. Go.
Recon destroyed. Clears the trip. Do you suspect this? Okay, well, Xfero. Well-defined 1. Push out. Does even better to find 2. So weapons will be retained. Gets himself a couple more charges towards another Neuro Theft. That does not change the state of affairs here. Full timeouts have been used here from the side of RRQ. Neither resulting in round victories. Gen.G now within touching distance.
And I mean, you know, even when they were down 10-2, the comms for Gen.G still sounded pretty positive. It sounded like they were just here to play and have fun. And that's certainly got to be part of the equation here. The mental game for them has been really strong. That's a couple huge spots in middle. You know where that operator is
0
now.
point. Johnny on the spot there is Munchkin. Op revealed. Set up though on these trips to try to intercept the jet, but the jet's not on this side of the map. Extra slow walking, checking out around A main. His orb gets grabbed up. Munchkin 1 away from having the null command online.
Is the other orb available by texture? I think it is.
I feel like he wouldn't have taken it just to try to get the knives.
क्या ही comeback भाई.
So you get the null command here.
11-2 था. 11-2 से 11-9 पहुंचे बे.
2 players
7 round in a row.
this off. Just now noticing as well, the crazy guy only has a stinger.
वो भी पिस्तौल हारने के बाद.
There's a follow-up 0 point.
गलत.
Looks like he doesn't actually go for the orb, but it doesn't matter because Texture's just gone forward into heaven. I think he's just going to look to take it for the plant here.
30 seconds left.
Use the null command in a follow-up to try to dissuade. Hasn't popped it yet, though.
Oh, look at Foxy.
भाई
Around the back,
Foxy
getting ready to
की
come through the
पोजीशन
spawn.
देखो
Null
बे.
command comes out in
पूरा
response to the
स्पॉन्स
drone,
आ रहा
now
है.
forced away from the doorway. It's Foxy getting closer and closer.
Oh my god.
Pushy is dead. Swing out of the
Oh
smoke.
my god, what the hell, bro?
Fall as Xfero, just with the operator, forced to quietly sneak out to try to escape and hold on to this weapon, but Ash is swooping around the side. He needs to hit this shot. Woo! Whips it, jump up over the top. The classic claims it. And my God, how are we here?
I am just completely befuddled. RRQ looks so in control, but neither side knows how to play defense. I mean, to be fair, Gen.G is reading the map extremely well right now. And they are maximizing their advantages where they can. The way that they use that info that Texture's been gathering, that's something they've been doing in a couple rounds here that I've been noticing, is they'll leave Texture on his own to see what's going on and then make rotates off the back of that.
No operator to be concerned about here, but Gen.G still present, still going to be a concern, going to be a threat.
ये आ रहा है तो next होगा Eco तो होगा
during this run back.
12-11.
That activation can come through at any critical moment. He's got the dimensional drift to assist the rest of the team. What is the play call here from Gen.G?
Usually they've been flashing over this wall. Let's make the entry. There you go. Oh,
drop down, really finding the timing. To get the stun out from Crazy Guy. Still has the stealth drone waiting on the timer for those salvos.
But this has gotten Gen.G to slide over here. And he I don't see a TP on the map. Doesn't have one in hand, so he's committed to that site. It's just, is Gen.G gonna read this right? That's all they've seen really is the Tejo.
But yeah, it needs to be so impactful here for them. The Paranoia will try to buy some time, but the Fragment buys some space, forces him back, but G's still delayed here as they try to scale forward the tripwire. Now, going to be noted, as they're working forward, Foxy9 trying to get this flank here in mid, but Jemkin activating, finds a headshot, moves down 3, and RRQ. They finally had enough.
Oh, fuck.
A 4K into a flawless
Nah,
RRQ will at long last get themselves up to map point. Gen.G now need 2 more to take this into overtime.
And this is just one of the few rounds we've seen us on this attacker side where Gen.G doesn't quite read the map right.
Some can be like,
They
both
just
work
don't have a lot of info,
about.
and they just try to make and execute scaling play off the back of it through short. But Jemkin just holding the line. Easy money for him. Has a dimensional drift.
Ult was not needed.
One away from a lockdown, though.
Like they want to try to go for a pacey hit, but Jemkin is here. Flash connected. Now going to be ping reveal. The texture takes him down, spamming through, but Moniet trying to hold the line, falls to the wayside, as does Xfero. The trade up is there. Cushy, crazy guy, quick to arrive. Now trying to play it out versus 3. Foxy still working his way forward through main. Munchkin tucked. Going to be spotted there by the drone. Looks to try to delay. Needed some minor spray through the floor. Might just be enough to take him down in health. Only 22 health remaining. They're looking for it. The split on the
Nice
drop.
one.
Karon taking,
No.
dealing with the player here at Gen. Cushy now asked to do it all.
ये मार क्यों नहीं रहा? Oh
Turret
fuck.
just a hair
Turret
off.
ने
Swoops
scam
around
कर
the back,
दिया.
finds one. Recon cleared the tap. Foxy waiting, knowing that the
Nice.
time is just not going to be
49.
there. And now we'll swing forward. Gets himself the ult for the
दरवाजा
previous
तोड़ रहा है
the
वो.
follow-up round. I'm losing my mind and my words as Gen.G are 1 round away from taking this map to overtime.
Not in a million years that I think that was going to happen. What a timing play there for Texture and Company. They've got Jemkin dead to rights right before the TP. Foxy9, okay, the turret maybe not placed in the best spot, but that's okay. The nano was. So, small mistake, able to be covered. And one more round, and we might have an overtime, and you have a lockdown here for Foxy9. Last time it was B that they used it at. Gen.G, quick scaling. Look like they just want to go right for it.
Yep.
Nothing that can be done.
It's going to have to back away. There's now TP forward from Karon in towards Tree. Paranoia going to be sent. Not sure if that gets a catch on Xfero. Seems like it does, but so Spray is able to find one. Karon here over onto the flank, however, coming up with one, but then gets distracted by the tripwire.
Nice one.
Xfero going to be taken down here on the site. Cushy finding Foxy9. Ping reveal off the near ult.
No.
Munchkin is dead. It's all on
Finally.
Ash, and he cannot make it happen.
RRQ. Nice
So
one.
damn
अच्छा खेला
close,
Gen.G.
but no damn cigar. 13 to 11 and unthinkable.
अगर वो वाला राउंड नहीं हारते, जमकिन ने जब मारे 3 तो हो जाता. वो राउंड जीतते, अगला होता फोर्स बाय या इको 11-12, बाद में उन पे प्रेशर आता तो ओवर टाइम हो सकता था या जीत सकते थे, पर जी.
But that is not reassuring for RRQ. Your spirits had to be flying sky high after that first half of Ascent. You can see they felt okay after Haven. They said, you know what, if their map pick, we didn't feel good on that map, it's fine. Ascent's coming up, we got this. Halfway through it, oh, we're knocking this out of the park. We're going right over to Lotus. But then Gen.G comes roaring back. Let's see what the mental's going to look like. That's something Coach Ewok has been talking about, how good the mental is for his team. That was part of why they were able to beat Paper Rex yesterday, he said. Are they going to be able to recover?
We will have to just wait and see. Lotus is coming up. We're swinging back over onto one of the Gen.G map picks. Let's see if RRQ can just kind of take this near loss in stride. Carry some momentum over, because, I mean, Jemkin Cushy still so damn good. to close out these last few rounds here for the team to get them over that finish line. That pace is going to be hit off the top. Well, Gen.G might still yet be at risk, but we're tied up 1-1. The series nowhere close to being done. We'll send it over to the analyst as to break
ट्रॉफी
down
है
all of
चेन
the
की
wild action.
If you told me a year ago that Ascent was going to be the most exciting map in the map pool, I would not have believed you. I have to say, we saw an absolute masterclass of Ascent from both of these teams today, but definitely only from the attacker side.
Yeah, only on attack. Definitely not on the defense. We'll get into that a little bit more in detail later, but that was a experience diff from Gen.G. RRQ could have closed that out much earlier than they did, but that is a calling masterclass on the attacking side of Ascent from both teams, but particularly from Munchkin from behind. That really shows his experience as an IGL.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gen.G did so well to even make this close. I think a 13-2 win for RRQ feels very, very different to this 13-11 incredibly scrappy, incredibly close win. But still, they did manage to get it over the line. And once again, look at Jemkin up there, 27-17, with 9 first bloods. We can't stop this guy.
No one can. He's the Russian Terminator. He walks through the map at his own pace. He doesn't send it. He's not a send it duelist, you know. He is coming after you no matter what, and you cannot stop him. If you peek him, he will crush you.
What's that horror film where the guy is like walking slowly after them?
असिस्ट तो देखो मोनियट के साइफर के जेमकिन के
Like he doesn't rush any
Munchkin
angel.
के
He takes things at his own pace.
Damn.
Munya is definitely the send it member of RRQ. But you know,
That's what he
Jemkin
said. I think nothing. I think nothing before I go into a match. I just go kill.
only kill.
Yeah.
Only go kill. I mean, I wish I could turn my brain off.
Yeah.
Well, the Russian Terminator is probably the most appropriate name for him here. But we had some, man, this almost went into overtime in the most classic Gen.G RRQ fashion. I mean, let's rewind a bit to the first half there. We saw something really interesting happening between both of these teams and how they choose to use their drones.
Yeah, 100%. I felt like the Gen.G's defense was very poor. I mean, both teams' defense was very poor on this map, but I'm actually starting to come around to you talking about the meta comp. I felt like Gen.G, it was a very disappointing approach to Ascent. It's an approach that we've seen a million times, and the comp that RRQ uses with the double drone is so good at breaking these B main info lines that Gen.G was trying to set up. If we bring up the replay here, we can have a little bit more of a chat about it.
Yeah, I mean, so, well, it's all about B main. I said this before the game, but you're so used to seeing the op on this B main line to lock info, but they can drone back with the Teo drone, which not only scans, stops him from dashing away.
Yeah, easy opening pick there for RRQ that they take advantage of, and it's able to set them up very nicely for that opening kill and victory from there. In the follow-up round, though, I mean, we saw this very fast set play execute from RRQ with the dimensional drift that they use very nicely. But you can see off the back of that opening pick here, you immediately see RRQ go in with the From the Shadows, clear out the whole site, and then Jemkin on the other side of the map is able to find another opening kill. He's everywhere.
Yeah, that's the key. You win that fight in B main and it forces them to have to rotate towards B, which unlocks A for you. That's clearly the plan. But now this dimensional drift, I mean, he was a monster on this attacking half. 6 and 2 on opening duels with 4 Yoruwolves on the attack. How do you play against that?
I'll give him 7 and 2 because he
What?
double entry in that last round, but you see the set play
चार
here
यानी
from
उसको
RRQ. This is so sick.
7
The
7 या 8
combination
चाहिए
of the
कितनी
dimensional
चाहिए
drift and the Hunter's Fury, salvos
7
out heaven.
I guess
5 of these players from Gen.G are ready to flood the A site, and not a single player gets a kill. They get absolutely crushed.
Man, I was feeling so good for RRQ watching this first half. I feel like they had everything together. It was so organized. But then as we get across to the other half, I mean, this is where things really started to go wrong. They're against a force buy, but they should have closed this here.
Texture's just donated himself. He's feeling very charitable in this round. You had the whiff on short. That should have been a 5-on-3 for RRQ. But in classic Gen.G fashion, they are able to weasel their way through the map on attack. They creep through market. You see them do similar things on Lotus. I just saw the other day with a bonus on Lotus doing this exact same thing. They're just able to find the gaps. These individuals understand from man disadvantaged situations, they need to take agency. They need to take risks and cut corners, find the gaps on the map and make some plays. And that is the experience of these individual players on the side of Gen.G. They were able to win so many rounds after winning that force. And I really think the mental damage that that's inflicted on RRQ, how much they've had to work for that game of Ascent going into Lotus is going to really change how this series plays out.
Yeah, that's actually incredible because at the first half, we were discussing exactly that. Like, okay, this is going to be great for RRQ's mental and for Gen.G to do what they just did. We are definitely going to break down Lotus after this, but definitely props to Jemkin one more time. What'd you call him? The Russian Terminator?
That's what he plays like.
He does. It's appropriate.
He just walks around the map. Like, he's not sending it. He's just waiting for you to peek him. I love it. He's just perfect crosshair placement. He never misses a shot.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting now. We were talking about the styles that these two teams are choosing to play with, even that drone comparison, using a Sova drone versus a Tejo drone. And we thought that RQ has this in the bag. This is the new way to play Ascent, and this is the right way to play Ascent. But like you said, for Gen.G to figure out how to make this quote-unquote old style work is, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about that experience, right?
Yeah.
I do feel like RRQ should have closed this game in a more dominant fashion. I did think, especially after that first half, they were the better team. But then it's just when you get close to winning and then you lose those ecos. And I felt I could feel the crumble. The way they were using their ults, they're using them on ecos, they're using them in disadvantages. That's a panic move to try and snatch rounds back, which they don't need to do. But they're doing that because they're not quite as experienced, they're not as composed in these moments. So I do think that has a certain mental fatigue in these long series where instead of stomping through your map pick, you had to really, really work for it. And now they have to go into Lotus, which Gen.G are going to be so happy about.
Absolutely, and you were breaking this down earlier, Pilsky. Both of you guys, how they will utilize this to their advantage on Lotus. Now, what is RRQ going to need to do to make sure that Gen.G doesn't do that?
For RRQ, I actually think this Lotus comp has been a bit of a success in the past. I like the way they played the Breach Teo earlier on in the split. Jemkin, once again, on the Yoru is phenomenal on this map. You saw them crush T1, but again, towards the later end of the season, T1 even lost very one-sidedly to pretty much everyone they were playing on Lotus, so I don't know if they just hadn't figured things out. For RRQ, though, they have been inflicted a couple of Ls on this map, and for Gen.G, they've been playing almost the same comp on Lotus, almost the same style on Lotus for 30-plus officials now. The only thing that they've changed is the Vice in for the Killjoy, but they just make micro adjustments. They're so confident, they're so comfortable in their playbook that they are confident they can beat you with this style.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to Haven, right? Like, you should, in theory, know what they're going to do, but you can't stop it. And that's what their Lotus reminds me of. I just think that now things get even trickier for RRQ. Lotus is such a hard map to upset Gen.G on, and we just saw when they start on that defense, they do not lose.
It's the same thing. You're going to see RRQ, they opted to start attack on Haven. Then you're running into Munchkin, you're running into Foxy9, you're running into Caron. It's the same agents, the same skill sets that Gen.G will use to stop you on Lotus, where RRQ will again start on the attacking side and run into Munchkin playing the Viper. Foxy9 was phenomenal when we saw him on the Vice on this map last time, and Caron on his signature Omen.
I just think it's absolutely insane that you can have Gen.G's entire playbook in front of you and you can't stop them.
Well,
There's too much of it. They played 30-plus officials of it. It's like, what strat are we running this time? Hey, remember when we did that like 3 months ago? We ran this strat. Let's give that a go.
Yeah, it's so good because it's so incremental. It's the same comp, but it's not always the same things. It's these small changes, it's these little stylistic differences, and they run their own ante on you. And we're looking at Gen.G, it's exactly what we want to see. Texture on that Raze, Foxy9 on the Vice, and of course Munchkin on his signature Viper. No changes there, no changes were expected. This is their home ground.
Yeah, RRQ are going to look to them to take this seat mount control a lot of the time.
Rebel control easy है बे Lotus में पर RRQ ने लिया तेजो ब्रिज combo करेंगे पता नहीं
taking mix करेंगे ये Gen.G. I've got my predictions going. I have zero chill as we go into map 3 of this crazy grand final series. We're going to send it back to our casters, Achilles and Paper Thin.
And we wouldn't have it any other way. What a hell of a second map here in this set. Gen.G fighting indeed, but falling shy of the mark there on Ascent to try to take us into OT. Now we go over to their second map pick here in this best of 5, Lotus. See if they are going to be able to regain the lead, take this up to match point, or if RRQ can look to get some long-awaited revenge.
These are the 2 maps that they played previously. Extra out front.
That he is. Looking heads, finding one, spotting out the other as the paranoia connects Xfero. Unable to find any punish, so it's going to be Cushy dead on the floor here with no real trade or damage found.
Bit of an interesting change-up compared to what we saw last time on this pistol. It was RRQ who just kind of held in spawn and waited to see Gen.G would get aggressive. This time, both teams feeling out mid B. It's actually Gen.G.
भाई
It's going to profit early.
ये देखो
Tap the
योरू को.
door, trying to pull some rotations so they can make their way over towards A, where
What?
Jemkin has gotten way up there.
Quad push out.
गलत रीड पे. वाइस किधर जा भाई?
Set behind to really try to alert this is Foxy9. Looks all the way back around the corner. Pushing it stairs. Nothing going to be spotted. Here's the door. Thorn's going to be set. Jemkin now turning his sights back over towards the site here.
The fuck?
Sparrow tucked in behind the box.
भाई take a
Big
defender defend.
opportunity.
Okay.
Get some damage done. Do they read this at all?
Spike planted.
Keeping it quiet, slow scale forward. Moniette on the jiggle peak. Let him know what Munchkin. Striking
one.
first, striking faster. Big bun on the left side. Ghost now going to be snatched up. Players a little bit more spread out as Moniette going to be forced away back deeper in towards street by the paint shell. Foxy still swinging, arriving, jumping,
Nah.
getting taken down. Jemkin able to find that kill immediately right back here onto the site as the haunt gets cleared out in time. A lot of it already dwindling. Texture strafing forward, able to find one. Now it's just down to Crazy Guy. Will get run down. 3 players surviving. Gen.G pick up their second pistol here of the set.
Yeah, this is just really nice work from Gen.G. Having some plans on the back of the map space they are giving up early. Foxy9 just backpedaling. They're anticipating that this is either going to be B or, you know, once they know it's not C because they pushed out Mound, but maybe B. He's kind of playing for that. They say if they go A, okay, we're going to have a huge flank coming. 4 players through. They find that big kill around the box. That was massive for them. Moniette trying to do his best to sell. Trying to get some attention his way, but Gen.G does not fall for it. This was 13-5 last time in the favor of Gen.G when they played this map in the upper finals. RQ gonna have to dig deep. No comp changes, just have to figure out some antis. A lot of damage done.
Tagging down Moniette to A.
What?
Tied to
Moniette?
his own teammate salvos. Kind of pulling the trigger on the play as the damage was getting layered in. Cushy does manage to find one. Karan
Spike
going to be put
down
down here for the moment, but
One enemy
plenty of
remaining.
covering fire. So for now, it's the second weapon lost. As Xfero got in off the lurk. That does manage to catch them off guard.
Slipped the net. He's just gonna keep
Gun here.
rotating through.
But can he find anything realistically? Main's being watched here by Foxy9. Can't find the kill, then Xfero can go ahead and scoop up one of the weapons.
Gun here.
Yeah, pings it out. Foxy's pulled off the angle.
Boy,
Just a Spectre, but still a chance. Door tapped, swings out, spots out 2, tries to go for the bite, but we'll just bank it off the door there as Munchkin collects it. So 2 casualties, 2-0 start.
still though, it's something to
अगर
be
वो B से
kinda
जाता
concerned
पूरा
about is
घूम
Gen.G
के
is
तो फोक्सी को मार
normally
देता.
their defense can
एक गन डाउन होती.
pretty good about keeping track of their opponents. Whoops the daisies.
And
Oh well. For the side of RQ, but holding the line here at this door. Nicely done by Foxy9. Munchkin there will take it down, but still, you did lose a bit of your investment as Gen.G, but carrying over a couple Guardians and a Bulldog, not too bad. Again, my bigger concern is the fact that Xfero just finds a way into the back of the map and nobody has any idea.
वो क्या हगा है भाई
Arrow off that
टेक्सचर.
Second final shot going right over top of the head. Cannot find it. 2 kills quickly scooped up here for the side of RQ as they look to up the pace. Some damage dealt. Still 5 members strong. They work their way forward. Fault line not going to connect on anyone. Munchkin trying to play this out quietly as Jemkin goes sliding in towards back sight. Munchkin will be able to collect that elimination. Think fight available to try to delay. Foxy at the same time able to find Crazy Guy. There's the spike still here on the floor. The scale forward. Cushy clears
Two,
enough, but
two.
not before
Cushy
Moniette gets
ये
picked
भी नहीं
apart.
है.
Suddenly we're into a 2v2.
नहीं 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 नहीं.
Push into the smoke down, Karan. Ends up falling to the wayside. Now it's all down to Munchkin. Captain and IGL playing this out quietly, trying to see what maneuvers RQ look to make, and it seems like it's going to be that pivot, either to the B or the C site. Think of the litter here.
A little tough for Munchkin now, though. There's no idea how they're going to spread out to back of this plant.
Spike planted.
Gonna have to win one battle. Cushy should be within one shot though.
Both players tucked. Wall is set up to obfuscate main from this angle.
मेड
Obviously,
पे खेलने के
salvos are
बाद ना वो
available, so
पीक लेगा
Munchkin
इजी है भाई
wanting to get a
आराम
move
की
on, but
गई है
needing to clear a bunch of different positions here first. Quiet drop down. Taps it. Ball raised. Salvo's now flying through. Knows there's one in main. Does he suspect the second? So there's the stun. Sacrificial is Cushy. There's the swing out.
nice try,
Xpero
nice try,
narrowly
nice try.
survives with 30 health. Gen.G not going to get the bonus conversion, but they get a ton of damage dealt.
Yeah, that's really, really good for Gen.G. Quick reactions over towards the A site. RRQ doing a good job early, winning that positioning battle, but Munchkin quietly slipped down that
अगर
rope
ये
ahead of the
पुश ना
rest of his
किया होता
teammates.
अगर ये
The other two are the first ones that RRQ sees when they start scaling into sight. And Munchkin, therefore,
जीत
gets
जाता है
underneath their noses, finds some big
क्योंकि
impactful
कुछ
kills.
की एज तो
Foxy9
भी
as
लो
well,
थी
coming in, doing some
सिर्फ
real
5 पर
damage
बचा
with the
2v1 होता
Bulldog.
है
And that's brutal for RRQ. Still able to mostly buy up other than one Bulldog of their own.
Well,
Nice.
Texture this time ready for that position on top of Boulder. Finds a shot.
Nice.
Ash similarly takes down Jepkin, making up for the sins of the previous round. They have been redeemed. And that is now a massive two-player advantage here for Gen.G.
मरेगा
Now I'm just going to say,
what
back here. Now noted. They know where Xpero is at. Crazy guy is dead. Munchkin one away from a pit going into round 5. Showstopper online. Munchkin clearly wasn't satisfied with just having the ultimate. Wants a little bit more, and Xpero will thank him very much for the extra charge. Missing the timing of him
टाइमिंग हो
sliding out
गई
of the smoke, but
टाइमिंग हो गई
swings back in.
टाइमिंग हो गई
Xpero fighting.
टाइमिंग
Has come up with the kill. There's the wall, locks him in position. The haunt not quite cleared. He finds this one though.
What?
Suddenly he can make a go of it.
अगर ये ले गया फिर
3 kills, the sprint over. Plant would put him one away from having that pit online.
पर इसको
This
पता
would
है
be
कि
a
लॉन्ग
hell of a
पैक है
turnaround and a hell of a way to get this map tied up. But
इसको
it's just going to
आइडिया ही
drift
नहीं
out
कि लॉन्ग
into
पैक है
Karen's crosshair and will fall down.
Still, that's a ton of damage done economically
या
to Gen.G. Yes, they're going to have some big ults though,
3 गिराए बे
but you can look at the cash available. Not great for Gen.G. Still going to be able to scrape something together, but that's painful to start losing those 1v1s like that.
क्रेजी गाय पे पास
I'm the
सीक्रेट है
coaches for Gen.G. I'm a little bit annoyed at the way the end of this round went. Would have preferred to see players kind of lock it down together a little bit better, especially once this spike is down. Get Texture some help over here while he's trying to hold off Xpero, but
दो
give him the opportunities.
ये
Xpero
3
collects some big kills for RRQ, so anything is possible. It's going to be a weak buy. Jemkin does have a rifle. The judge for Munchkin.
Yeah, in the end, it ends up just being vastly superior to what RRQ can try to scrape together. So just the one hero here, Frenzy.
Big kills for RRQ, so
तेरी आवाज आ रही है क्या हेलो
But Jemkin one away from having the dimensional drift.
There.
Do they pull the trigger on Armageddon? Because she has it at the ready, but for now they have to work their way forward.
नहीं
Into the
आवाज
site.
नहीं
The
आ
wall
रही
going to be
है
popped, the boom
लो
going to be
लो
set.
लो
Warren's finding a bit of damage as Mon on the reposition is noted and heard.
Ari,
Foxy
Ari.
swoops in to find that kill. Jemkin puts the rifle to good use, finding one. A showstopper now. Big splash potential.
Nice,
As Cushy
nice.
gets taken down, but there's a fake out there on the clone.
यूसी
Jemkin
नहीं हुआ बे
still alive, still well, still with Vandal in hand. Trying to force it forward, and
Whoa.
they do. And it's a Karen's demise. He immediately snaps on, finding that headshot. Dimensional drift now at the ready, has the gate crash set up for the exit. The pit going to be
ये round
invested
भी
here from the
गया
side of
I
RRQ.
guess
Looking to secure this, but it's going to
Huh?
be a counter pit. Sideshow's nightmare, it would seem. They go sliding forward, trying to find some space, but Jemkin finds one. Ash dead. Texture waiting to try to see if he can find any kind of timing, but Jemkin is on top of it all. And with the judge in hand, Crazy Guy swings the corner. And that is a thrifty pickup for RRQ. Ults well invested. As the gap now is just one round.
Yeah, this starts to get a little bit sloppy again. Gen.G has such a huge advantage. They just need to kind of hold the line. Karan gets caught slipping a little bit there. Jemkin, 3 kills, 3 big ones. A Crazy Guy so fast to understand that position. Who knows? Munchkin's got to judge there if he's able to pull the trigger a little bit
Jemkin
faster.
की
maybe.
ult है, खुशी की ult है, Breach की ult है. ये round भी गए यानी 3-3.
Jemkin, doesn't matter what you throw at this guy.
क्योंकि वो eco पे है.
Have to be fearful. Flash confirms some presence outside at Mound. Back there for the moment. Of course, obviously, Jemkin didn't commit that dimensional drift here, so does still have it. We'll clear out the wall now with the clone. There's going to be a lot of the thorns and a pop there as well.
Yeah, I mean, Jemkin's mechanics are just so smooth. He just is such a smart player. He reads situations incredibly well. Throws out the TP. Sparrow is so ready for this.
Swing out, looking for the reset on the spray. It's a little wild, but doesn't suffer too much damage. Eventually finds it. And it seems like he is very much suspicious of there being a third player in this position. Foxy backpedaling frantically, shooting with the Sheriff, trying to see what he can get done. Karan will eventually fall, and now it's just down to Munchkin to see if he can get any kind of impact here in the round. Otherwise, RRQ well set to tie us up at 3-3.
To make matters worse for Gen.G, you've got 3 huge ultimates that are going to be stored for RRQ. There's no way they're investing them here. Coming into your next buy round, that's extremely scary. You do have Foxy's ult, probably going to maybe get Ash's ult. Outside of that, RRQ is going to have a lot of ability to scale into sight for post plants.
Well read. Back around the corner. It's a freebie. Does he go for the knife?
Knife him.
Oh, Xfero.
Do
He's
it.
creeping forward. They're trying to keep the interest going, and there you have it. Right between the shoulder blades, a 4K for Xfero. A thrifty denial and a tied scoreline at 3-3 with mental damage on top. Boom up with a knife.
That's right. But Gen.G's looking a little bit sloppy here on Lotus compared to the last time we saw them. We're seeing some mistakes. Seeing a little bit of overconfidence maybe at times. Going back to that round where Xfero got a bunch of kills he never should have. Now he's got a 4K with a knife.
And that is just a hell of a grin on his face. He knows what he's done. He knows what he hath wrought. Because a timeout will get called.
This is getting interesting. RRQ seems
हाँ भाई जीत सकती है
just a little
Gen.G.
bit cleaner here on Lotus.
Pacific
I think,
last time
you know,
वही
some of the
जीती
early
ना.
macro ideas are just a little bit stronger for Gen.G sometimes, but
Last
follow-up.
last to last.
or RRQ has
Last
been
time
better.
तो T1 ही थी ना.
Post plants have been good. Some of the ideas how to get through some of the defensive utility with Foxy 9, obviously pretty stock standard, but still they're able to make it very uncomfortable for the Vice. And now you got to figure out, as Gen.G, what in the world are you going to do? You have Armageddon, Rolling Thunder, Dimensional Drift to deal with.
इसका bracelet
You know,
मस्त
you
है
got
भाई.
to be thinking retake, I assume, but that's even hard to do because
इस
one of
बार
those
के
other two
trophy
big
थी
ults that
भाई.
drags
ठीक
itself across the
है.
floor is going to
Last time
probably
क्या
still be
मस्त
there
थी
in their
जब
back
वो
pocket.
last नहीं last to last.
So you got to spread the
PRX
map here, I would
जीती थी.
think. I mean, you win Rubble control, and then from there, you got to make quick flanks, quick rotations. I mean, Xfero was so ready for it last time. It's going to make things tough, no doubt about it. Foxy here has to be ready to just bail at a moment's notice, I would suspect. And look at RRQ, they're thinking the same thing. They're like, oh, if Gen.G wants to deal with our ults, they might want to try to take some space. Let's be ready for that.
Who's next? Dimensional Drift's going to be sent as Spark starts working across in the opposite direction. So ultimately, Jemkin trying to sell a little bit of a different story to start, but in the end, though, Gen.G are in the correct position. Nightfall goes out, tap on the door. Rolling Thunder gets sent. Crazy Guy has no idea what's coming his way. Gets shot down by Cushy. Able to find two. Texture, Ash, both going to be picked off, but the spike now dropped here at the entrance of main.
Gen.G ने
Jimkin swinging back around, looking to bring this to bear here on the site. Still in a good position for RRQ.
Spike
They have the site under
planted
their control
still.
for now. Just need to get that spike forward. With the help of that smoke, they should be able to do so.
What a nullification of those ultimates, though, by Gen.G. Nightfall with the door tap, and they can't hear it. So well thought out.
So she's still able to find those 2 kills. Still makes this a bit of a rough spot.
Nice 2v2 2v2 easy.
Eric getting tagged down to 70. Paranoia going to be used, but there's no real scaling off the back of that. So vision,
पर
audio
दोनों के
regained.
भी कम
Xfero
है
playing the close
45
angle.
70 no armor.
Munchkin at 45. Paranoia at 70 to bite on a bit of a timing. Spying some more space as the swing out
2v1.
denied. Monyet survives with 37 health. Karan now asked to try to
मरा
clutch this out.
मरा
Monyet just trading places, swooping. The
वन
jump in,
वे हो गया वे
attempt to try to get
खुद
around
के
that one
स्मोक
way,
में
but
वन
it's
वे हो गया
Xfero
जी
coming
भाई
out on top, and RRQ now taking the lead.
The post plants continue to really be stellar here for RRQ. This
ये
door
अच्छा
open looked
था
like it was
पर
going to be a real disaster, but Cushy
Texture
able to fight
इसके
back with 2
समझ है
big kills.
He's just using the door
B
against
पे
them.
मरे
He's
वो
able to go ahead and split apart the fights there.
Yeah,
Take the individual duels.
really nice reaction from him,
क्या
especially given that Nightfall situation they were in. Still has his Armageddon. Back onto a weaker buy for Gen.G. So, very, very scary scenario that you're facing here. Both teams continue to have a bit of trouble on their defender sides across the last couple maps. Munchkin with a Guardian.
अभी भी आर्मर ग्रेडेड है उसके
Bit
पास
of a trickery position set up.
ना ओ नाइस ले
Finds value from it. As Flash connecting, Foxy is going to look to try to reposition, but the stealth drone comes out immediately, and Jemkin does manage to go ahead and take him down.
what
By Taron!
what Taron oh my
Yes,
god
he
bro
can!
oh
A 4K Sheriff confirms the thrifty!
thirsty कर
confirms that we
दिया
are
भाई
tied up at 4 to 4.
thirsty
Oh, he's so back.
Oh, the call just rang out, and he has
क्या
answered.
मारा भाई क्या
Unbelievable shots.
2, 3.
भाई
Oh my god. That
that was
is a
some
Charon classic. The Sheriff just works differently for him.
Unbelievable. That's got to be a bit of a kick in the head there for RRQ. They were starting to really seize control here of the map. Momentum gets shifted. And economy starts getting a little bit more lopsided. Still in a good enough spot. The next few here.
That one's enough to give you a bit of a concussion. That is tremendous,
भी होगा I guess
tremendous stuff, and that could be one of the pivot points in this map, in this series. It's the hero play from Charon.
texture
This is
मरेगा
not looking especially easy for RRQ.
Tuck back, Texture swinging out. Good amount of damage is going to be found. Ash able to find Xfero, but Crazy Guy answering
Ab
back in a
jayenge
major
B.
way. Finds them both. Smoke now down. Karan falling here with the rotations as Munchkin sights in towards the connector, and Jemkin
Gee,
able to find
The
that kill. And
analyst
suddenly
bन जाता
RRQ
भाई
seeming like they have not missed a beat, seeming like they're able to shrug that round off quite well. But tuck back to Foxy 9. Karan now
भाई
position absolutely no, but still able to
मोनियत
find
के देखो
Sprayed through the
लोकेशन
corner. Crazy Guy taken down. Brings us into a 2v2. Cover going out.
दे दी लोकेशन
Onyeti being forward.
Okay.
Foxy pushing. Karan trying to clutch, but
oh
denied this time
no
around.
भाई
Monyet is the sole survivor. Get RQ back into a narrow
ओमन
lead.
डिप हो गया ओमन डिप
man, this looked like it had Gen.G written all over it. They play a little bit further back. They hit a great paranoia, but Texture can't find the shots initially, and the counter spam from Crazy Guy is on point. Foxy9 doing what he can. Karan coming up with a couple big kills, but Monyet
Last player standing.
able to steady the aim right at the end. Karan had him in his sights, but couldn't pull the trigger fast
मोनी
enough.
भाई खेल रहे हैं.
Damn close. RRQ, though, back into a dimensional drift, yeah.
Judge at the ready. Swing on the corner. One
Nice try,
dead.
nice
Monyet surviving. Knocked down to
अल्ट थी
34.
उसकी, चलो अच्छा हुआ वो मर
Two
गया.
charges away from a rolling thunder. Here's Crazy Guy.
ओमन
Now
अल्ट
you gotta
है.
eat that dimensional drift.
दोनों ओमन के अल्ट है.
Prowler check. He made nothing spotted there as Thorns use it proactively off the back of the wall getting tapped.
Texture so far forward, but it's being pinged out. RRQ, great understanding of the negative space. I know what they've given up, and he's all alone here.
That he is.
Nah,
Along the
nah.
fault line is my question. Seems like they're just going
Nah.
to face in for it, but a little bit of a misjudge there from Crazy Guy. As far as the exact position is concerned, keep me back over. Making a quick exit and arrival towards this side of the map. Meanwhile, Karan, it's a bit of a misread here, it would seem, from Gen.G. He plays back. They're
Fake
fanned out for the most
kiya
part. This means that Foxy9 he now needs to try to buy some time. The Thorns locked him in place for the moment. The peek up over the top, but he's just absolutely destroyed their health bars.
पर
24 seconds
खुशी की
remaining. Cushy
लोकेशन
gonna be
पता
on the
है
flank, but
क्या?
Ash seemingly reading it, had eyes on the angle, but Cushy does manage to find the headshot, but this round is just going to be a bridge too far. The time not going to be available here for him.
उसे पता है, उसे पता है.
Seconds left.
As if he could play for some eliminations, would still be value. Finds a dink on the Foxy. but
टाइम नहीं
Foxy finds his
है.
way back out through the attacker spawn and into B to stay alive. 5-5, we stay tied.
Yeah, this
Nice,
is
nice.
really nice stuff from Foxy. The setup there
चलो
with the
guys,
razor vines really
जाता हूँ
nicely
मैं.
placed.
पढ़ना है मेरे को.
Anti-TP,
पढ़ ही रहा था मैं अभी भी.
then waits for the wall to go up before he makes his move to strike. Beautiful. Absolutely
Do
beautifully
like and
played by Foxy.
subscribe.
The fadeaway at the end.
Bye bye, bye bye.